You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Kyle Gagliardi, and my co-host is my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him,
What's going on?
I felt like holding that one today.
Apparently.
It's episode 43. The adrenaline's pumping.
Yes.
Just made a pot of coffee.
Come
you
on
got
now.
your C4.
Yes.
Caffeine's flowing. Energy's high. TLC is this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, that pay-per-view is coming up.
Can't wait.
We talk about it a lot, Tuck, but probably too many pay-per-views in the WWE calendar year.
Yeah, because they're not all good.
I know. And the thing is with NXT is I always want more because they usually do what, 4?
Yeah.
And then maybe these special shows like the one we're getting New Year's Evil, which, did you watch NXT this
No.
week? I thought NXT was good this week.
I did not watch it.
And we have our 219 Wrestling group text, which is just me, you, Ian, and Vogus, 2 of our listeners, if you guys didn't know that
I don't
already.
know why Mikey Wilson isn't in that group.
Because he doesn't have an iPhone. You know how it is. Like, people out there listening, you got to tell me, if you have an iPhone, you don't want that green bubble in your text message.
He a bit.
Because then you can't like, you can't laugh, you can't emphasize.
That's true.
What's the fun in group chats if you can't do all that?
I agree.
So that's why Mikey Wilson isn't in it. But how you been doing today, Tucky?
Good.
What's on the dock for you this week?
Oh, one more day of school. By
Mm-hmm.
the time you're listening to this, most likely I am either in the middle of my last school day before break or I'm in it. So,
How long's the break?
2 weeks.
That's nice for you that
Yeah.
you kind of get these little spots where even you get to rest a little bit, catch up on some things.
Yeah. Go to a comedy show with Mikey Wilson.
What comedy show?
Todd
Where?
McComas and Sean Latham in Aurora, Illinois.
Latham, is that a McAfee guy?
Was a McAfee and Barstool guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
McComas was a McAfee guy. Now they've teamed up for the Guns Blazing podcast, and they're doing their own thing. And
Is that one of the podcasts you listen to?
I do. I think it's funny. I like aside from the Overtime Sports Network podcast that I listen to, I
Right.
do a lot of learning podcasts, coaches, interviews, stuff like. But Guns Blazing is very nice for me to just kind of break away. There's so many podcasts that come out like Pat McAfee. He's got new shit all the time. It's really hard to stay current.
Yeah.
I like the predictable ones. Ours every Thursday evening,
Consistent.
Friday morning. 43 times.
Except next week we're cranking it out because it's the holiday week. The next 2 weeks are going to be a little different. Next Tuesday is the OTMmys. It
Yes.
is our podcast award show that
Which
we will be
is
doing.
spelled correctly, Ian.
I don't think Ian's old enough to comprehend things because that makes a lot of sense. And you
You gotta phonetize it out.
Yeah, and it made a lot of sense. And you came up with that on the fly last week. So that episode is on Tuesday. We won't have an episode, obviously, after that. And then the week of New Year's, we could either maybe, I don't know how you're doing plans-wise on New Year's week. We could maybe do a Tuesday, but honestly, I feel like during the holiday times, especially with WWE, they kind of mail it in a little bit with their shows. So maybe
I
not
wouldn't
enough
be
to cover.
surprised- Right.
So we might go on a little bit of vacation after next Tuesday, but we got this episode right here, episode 43, and then next week is episode 44 on Tuesday. And you were talking about podcasts. How many podcasts do you actually have, like, in your library?
Oh, too many.
Really? You load up.
I'm a pretty heavy library guy. Yeah.
I think I stick to 6. And I think they all might be Overtime Sports Network, obviously. No, there's more than 6. I have 8 because I have Busted Open Radio. That's where I get a lot of my wrestling talk, obviously. And then a couple Barstool podcasts. But the main one that I listen to is a college basketball. So other than that, Overtime Sports Network really takes up most of my listening. And we are a part of OTSN. Now on Twitch, Tuck.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that platform?
I have. I'm excited to see how it goes and see how it develops and new avenues, trying new things. We got a new year ahead of us, so here we go.
Yeah, so if you want to check us out, we are on Twitch, like I said. Twitch.tv/OT Sports Network is where you're going to find us. We will have people that stream video games. We will do live shows through Twitch and all that good stuff. And make sure you check out the website, otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN. And if you were to follow OTSN on Twitter and Instagram, Tuck, where would you go?
Well, that's pretty easy. @_OTSN is where you're going to want to go for that one, baby.
Tuck, you do another podcast, Wheelhouse. When you guys coming back? I've been here. I've heard rumblings for months now.
It would be, maybe after the first of the year we get going.
Maybe.
Probably not.
I'm not going to count on it. That's like counting on a Family Divided episode to crank out. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We got a lot of live shows. We got this. This is our baby now. OTM taking over the world. Or just maybe the region.
Yeah. Start small.
Yeah, start small. Hey, we got a giveaway going on Twitter, Tuck, but why do people not seem to like free things?
I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know.
What do we got on Twitter? Tell them what we got cooking over there.
Well, many people that like wrestling like collecting wrestling figures, things like that. So we've got an Adam Cole wrestling figure that we're going to give away. We will send it to you. We'll sign it even if you want us to.
Yeah, the last person that won was Mikey Wilson.
Yeah.
He signed it.
And now that's in the green room, so
we will do anything for that figure. Mm-hmm. Anything. But you got to reach 10 retweets at Pot on the Mark is where you're going to find that. I believe right now we're at like 7, so we still need to get a couple. I'll let it hang out there for a little bit. I'm really in no rush to give it away, but I ordered 2 figures, 2 Adam Cole figures, one for myself and one for a listener. So we figured with the holidays coming up that we would do a giveaway. We have 307 followers, but still only 7 people retweeted it.
Come on.
307 of you are wrestling fans that are probably following us. This is free. We do not ship internationally, though. That was a tweet that.
I mean, it's a good question.
It was. I'm just not going to go through the fees and all that because there's got to be an extra fee, right, to ship international.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not going to be cheaper.
Yeah, sorry. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it in the States. But the reason we are here today is to do a shorter pod since we're doing one on Tuesday, like I said, for the OTMmys. And we're going to announce those categories. Now, these awards will be basically just between AEW and WWE since those are the 2 companies that we watch every single week, Tuck. So that probably makes the most sense that we're just going to focus in on those 2.
Yeah.
And one of the awards that you wanted to talk about was Rookie/Breakout Star of the Year. That is the first category we're going to discuss on Tuesday's episode. Some names that I was thinking, I mean, obviously you can create your own. We're going to make this open to Twitter at Pot on the Mark. You got people like Rhea Ripley. She's kind of we knew who Rhea was going into 2020, but she kind of took off this year, Tuck.
Yeah, and she would have been one of the ones to really benefit from a live crowd at WrestleMania, which seems so long ago.
They came out with a report, too, that if there was a crowd there, that Rhea probably was going to get that win at WrestleMania.
Yeah, wow.
So that's kind of unfortunate for her, but she's gone on to do many of things. You got people like Otis, Murphy, Dominic Mysterio. I'm throwing out guys in AEW that might go by like Lance Archer.
Street Profits,
yeah, they could be. I know in the Slammies they were nominated, and maybe a guy like, I know he's not a rookie, but I feel like he kind of broke out on his own this year. Adam Hangman Page.
Oh, yeah. Hangman Page, yeah.
That seems like a good one. So the first category we will talk about on Tuesday is Rookie/Breakout Star of the Year. Another one that we discussed last week, Most Improved. I mentioned Jey Uso last week. Is there anything off the top of your head that you can think of when it comes to Most Improved?
Most Improved.
Britt Baker?
I don't know if she was ever bad.
Eddie Kingston?
Breakout-ish?
Yeah, that could be a breakout.
Most Improved and Breakout-ish are pretty close.
Well, Most Improved should be somebody that's probably established already.
Yeah.
And they kind of just had their year and got a little bit of recognition.
Rising stock, something like that.
It's got to be Jey Uso. That's what I'm thinking of.
We can
Spoiler
call it
alert.
the Jey Uso Award.
We could call it that. But one that will be up for debate. This is the third category we're going to discuss. Pay-per-view of the year. What are some of the pay-per-views off the top of your head that you would consider to be in this conversation?
I really WrestleMania, you got to talk about.
Always.
Was it Extreme Rules?
The horror show?
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell was good. Sorry.
Very underrated, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it still.
Yeah, but I thought that one was great.
Yeah, it's a good one. I didn't even think about that one. That was a good show.
Was it Double or Nothing was
yes,
good?
Double or Nothing was one. I put Double or Nothing and Revolution.
I was about to say, people forget Revolution.
John Moxley winning the title at that show.
That was a good show.
Hangman and Omega versus the Young Bucks was one of the best matches of the year.
You could argue Royal Rumble, too, with the Edge pop.
And I think the Royal Rumble gets a little bit of a rub, too, because they had fans.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Well, still with Revolution, too. They had fans there. I believe that was the last AEW show that they ran pay-per-view-wise with
At
fans.
the arena where DePaul plays their basketball games.
Yeah, that was...
Decent bar right outside.
Yeah, decent bar. I remember there was a hammered dude going around just two-sweeting everyone.
Yes.
Isn't that what he was doing?
Yeah, he was feeling it.
Think about that. Two-sweeting people now. People would be like, oh, don't touch me.
Well, hand sanitizer right away. Yep.
That was literally just like a month before the breakout started, too. So, when times were simpler. Another category we are going to probably debate is Match of the Year. And once again, while we are naming off these categories, put this in your notes. If you're a loyal listener, we're going to want feedback and get your opinion. So, Match of the Year in 2020, I think this could be the most difficult category to choose from this year.
Especially when you're going, are you picking cinematic match? Do you want to break out and do a cinematic match of the year?
I think it should all be lumped together.
Well, they all put it in their products. We didn't have cinematic pay-per-views. We had pay-per-views with cinematic matches. So I do think that makes sense. But there's a lot of great candidates. A lot of great candidates. You could go Styles Taker.
The Boneyard match you're referring to,
yeah,
obviously.
The Boneyard match was great. Man.
So here's the ones that I thought of just the top of my head, and I had to look up one. FTR and Young Bucks at Full Gear.
Awesome.
I feel like that has to be in the category.
Yeah.
The Men's Royal Rumble alone. Like,
Yeah.
we had so many cool moments, like Brock Lesnar getting eliminated by Drew McIntyre.
Brock Lesnar running shit for
Yeah.
a little while, yeah.
People forget Ricochet was a pivotal part in getting Brock Lesnar eliminated.
Well, you have Breakout Star and maybe Falling Star.
Yeah, Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Ali
Star,
could be part of the Falling
yeah.
Star, too, because he was so good. Other matches, Keith Lee versus Adam Cole for the title unification
Yeah.
at Bash. Omega and Page versus the Young Bucks at Revolution has to be in that category. I
Yeah.
think you were a little buzzed up at that show, so I don't know if you...
I don't really remember that.
I do. It was great. How about Edge versus Randy Orton in the greatest wrestling match ever? This is the greatest show.
Okay. Yep.
That was a good one, though.
It was good. It was. I went into it a little jaded or bitter because it was like so kitschy. Like, how can you?
It
say
was
that?
good,
but
though.
it was good.
And then a match I actually had to look up. Remember Kenny Omega versus Pac in February on a Dynamite?
Nope.
I do, and I remember it being an absolute banger. They ran for the last half hour of that show. I forgot if there was any kind of stipulation there, but they let those two go. And another random match on the show, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan on a SmackDown in June.
Okay.
June
You're
11th.
in it.
Yeah, so I did some research on that. So there's a lot to choose from there. There could even be some we're forgetting. Obviously, you got to talk about Tag Team of the Year. I think
Money in the Bank.
Yeah? I feel like the women's was better than the men's, though.
No.
If we're going to... Yeah.
No, because the Otis didn't win the women's one. So
Hey, speaking of women's matches, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte.
yeah,
That was a great one. Sasha and Bailey at Hell in the Cell. I mean,
yeah.
we got a lot of options there, so there's a lot of different avenues you can go with that. Another category, Tag Team of the Year. Off the top of my head, Street Profits have to be in that conversation. Kenny Omega, Adam Page had a long title run. You have the
Yeah.
Young Bucks, FTR, New Day. Maybe throw in the Golden Role Models in that conversation. But other than that, you really can't think of anyone else, right?
Yeah. I think that's pretty good.
That one's pretty straightforward. We don't really need to go into depth quite yet. So Tag Team of the Year, and then the big ones. Female Wrestler of the Year, and once again, I think this is between three people. Let's see if you can name them. I think there's just three that are in this conversation.
Bailey.
Yes.
Sasha.
Yep.
Asuka.
Yes.
I mean,
The outlier, maybe four, would be Io Shirai.
nah.
You don't
Sure.
like the year she's having?
No.
I mean, she's been in
I
NXT.
actually like her more now. Like lately. So
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I just thought about you could have put in the breakout conversation is Shotzi Blackheart.
Bianca Belair.
But Bianca Belair. Yeah, there's a lot of names for breakout, so we'll definitely have to think about it. Yeah, female, I think it's between Bayley, Asuka, and Sasha for sure. That one will be relatively easy. But male wrestler of the year will be our last one. That's the biggest OTMy of them all. Names off the top of my head, Jon Moxley, who was PWI's number 1.
Yeah.
He held the belt for majority of 2020. Drew McIntyre seems like an obvious one, right?
Yep.
Roman Reigns, ever heard of him?
Yeah.
But the caveat with Roman Reigns, he's only really competed for half the year.
And that's the knock against him. Yeah, but who's hotter right now? And that's the thing. So, good conversations to be had.
Kenny Omega,
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole,
Baby.
Chris Jericho. I mean, come on.
There's a lot.
Maybe you can. This might be a stretch, but Cody Rhodes.
Pat McAfee for breakout or no?
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Yeah. See, the breakout, you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to really get into the most improved because it's got to be somebody that's been around but kind of just is consistently getting better. So we'll have to think on that one. But yeah, male wrestler of the year will be the final category that we talk about. And like I said, give us your picks for these categories. We want to make this more of an interactive kind of thing. So shoot us a tweet at Pod on the Mark, or you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/onthemarkpod, and we are going to show all these categories, tweet them out, put them on Facebook, and we can have some fun with this. What do you say, Tuck?
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
And what's going to be fun is TLC on Sunday.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Oh, it's here
Tables,
already.
ladders, and chairs. Oh, my.
You blink and it's like, whoa, it's TLC time already. It's like, I can't believe we're here.
Excitement level for TLC.
3? 2.5?
I was going to say maybe 3. I don't know how predictable this card is. Looking at it, it kind of looks predictable on the back end. There's a few matches where we could sway. And a friendly reminder before we get into these predictions that Ryan Vogus and myself are the current OTM pay-per-view champions going into this, so we will find out if that belt changes hands. The first match we're going to talk about here, Tuck, I guess I got to go first, right, since I'm half champion?
Oh, yeah.
The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, versus Randy Orton, just announced today, a Firefly Inferno match.
Well, and what better time to announce it than on a dark day like Thursday?
Yeah, that's true. We've seen an Inferno match, at least I have. I don't know if you ever saw it. Bray Wyatt, I believe, faced Kane.
Kane has been in every Inferno match,
Maybe
right?
he passed the torch to Bray Wyatt after that.
Guess.
But since the word Firefly is in that match, you can't have Bray Wyatt lose his own style of matches. So,
well, and that's what I thought as I read as well. I'm like, well, I think that's a sweep.
Well,
Yeah.
also, it wouldn't seem right for Randy to get the win over the Fiend right now. What the Fiend we talked about it last week. What the Fiend and Alexa Bliss are doing is probably the best thing on Monday Night Raw. And Randy Orton just got the title, so I think this is one of the easier picks of the night. I'm going with the Fiend. I'm assuming you're going to agree with me.
I do agree, and I have nothing much else to add. This is one of those ones that could have that sneaky entertainment value because we don't know what to expect, which was a layer that I do think we were lacking going into TLC. Reading it did not super increase my hype level because I think the winner is pretty apparent, but we'll see.
I also like how, for a little bit at least, they're keeping the Fiend away from the title. Like when he first started the character, they were really just shoving him into the title scene. Mm-hmm. And now he's kind of just going with these feuds on the side, but they're entertaining because we know these two got history.
Yeah, and he doesn't need it. He doesn't need the belt.
He doesn't. I mean, look at Mick Foley, for example. The guy had millions of characters. I believe he only held the major championship once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really need a belt to solidify yourself as a star. So we both got the Fiend in that matchup. The next one, you get to kick us off here. The Raw Tag Team Championships will be on the line between the Hurt Business, who seems to be continuously getting shot after shot after shot, against the champions, The New Day. Who you got in this one?
I think this is one of the tougher ones to pick because do you have New Day retain as they have been consistently, or is this a night where the Hurt Business starts to take over on our way to 2021? And, I would have liked another match to go first on.
I didn't align this in any strategical way. I just kind of copy and pasted it.
Well, I just typed them into the doc random. So like we just filled out the 4th match, and now we're talking about the 5th one or the 6th one.
Okay,
So it's
fair
like
enough.
random.
Yeah,
it's random. I don't.
But this could be a big match for you. A guy that's chasing the title. This one, like you said, kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
Hurt Business really hasn't got any big wins over the New Day. I believe all their wins have come in singles matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like Cedric beating Kofi and blah, blah, blah.
I think the other trouble you see with this card is I think the card is going to be determined by the end of the, with like 3 or 4 matches remaining.
And it's the undercard, I think, too.
Yeah.
The undercard's where the titles will flip.
So I'm going to go with the Hurt Business here. Start giving them some gold, more gold, and kind of start building them. Thoughts?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of dumb if we're giving the Hurt Business another title opportunity and they just fail again. Because after that,
for what?
How much credibility would Shelton and Cedric have?
Exactly.
None. So the New Day, honestly, this reign that they've had has been underwhelming. I don't know if it's because they don't have Big E, so it doesn't feel complete, or just maybe the fact that New Day is getting, dare I say it, stale?
The old day. Well, what are they? And their identity it seems to be a little up in the air to me. So, yeah.
I also know Xavier Woods is doing a lot of things with hosting gaming stuff, and he does a lot of work on the side, so I don't know if they really want to keep the title on him forever because he's obviously got other things to do. So I would like to see the Hurt Business win. I'm going to predict that the Hurt Business walks out Raw Tag Team Champions.
I think that's what's good for business.
Yeah, that is true. So the next match up here, I get to go first. The Women's Tag Team Championship match. This was supposed to be Jackson Baszler versus Asuka and Lana, but we saw on Monday Night Raw that Lana got taken out, so she will no longer compete.
Is she actually injured?
No, it's a work, I believe. But so obviously we got the champions, Jackson Baszler, taking on Asuka, and they will not announce this mystery partner probably until TLC. First name that popped in my head, Charlotte Flair. It's got to be Charlotte Flair.
She's a little more active on social.
Yeah, she's posting a lot. Dad's mentality, she tweeted or something like that. I don't know. She's got to be coming back. And honestly, if it is Charlotte Flair, how does a team with Asuka and Charlotte lose to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? So with that thinking in itself, I am going to go with Asuka and the mystery partner. I also think if they were to win, that Lana can have a little side feud going on with whoever filled in for her, saying that was supposed to be her moment. They were supposed to be the tag team champions. But now that I'm talking about that, I can actually see it going the opposite way, where Jackson Baszler retained, and then Lana said, I wasn't there, so let's get it. I'm going to stick with it. I'm overthinking it. Asuka and, I know this doesn't count towards our predictions, and Charlotte Flair will become Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Asuka as well.
You can't win by picking the same as
I
me.
know, and this could be the one that I flip on, but I think putting Asuka in the tag team picture is a way to keep her relevant, too, keep her up there.
Because she's had no feud with the major title.
Right. So that's my thinking. Jackson Baszler haven't exactly crushed it. Well, they've crushed tables with Lana's body multiple times, but
that's why there's also a rumor that this match might be a tables match, just based off of that history there. But even though Lana's not even involved in the match whatsoever, so that's another thing. So you're going with, do you think it's Charlotte as well?
No.
Who you got?
I don't have anyone.
Come on, you got to have someone.
It is gonna be.
What if it was Alexa Bliss?
Nah, it won't be Alexa Bliss.
I mean, it could create a story with Bliss and Asuka going on in the future.
Is this like a SmackDown one?
No, this is Raw.
Raw. Nah, I got nobody.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Or maybe it is a SmackDown superstar that Asuka gets paired with. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Kairi Sane comes back. I'm clueless here. Maybe Lana comes back too. Who knows? But you're going with Asuka and the mystery partner, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
Well, we're on the same page so far here for TLC. Next matchup here, the SmackDown Women's Championship. We got the champion Sasha Banks taking on Carmella. You get to go first here at Tucky. This is your time to shine. Does Carmella win the gold here at TLC?
Absolutely not. Sasha Banks wins. Could be a squash. Should be a squash.
Squash after revamping a character?
It hasn't revamped anything for me, personally. I like Sasha Banks. Give her the good title run. That's all I got.
I will give Carmella credit. Did you watch SmackDown last week?
Yes.
I thought the post-match beatdown was good.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, that showed heelish tendencies, but it's not. This Carmella is not a champion in my eyes. Sasha Banks is too good, too strong right now. She never gets lengthy reigns, so why not give her a longer reign here? See who wins the Royal Rumble, maybe, and that'll face Sasha Banks. So I also am going to go with Sasha Banks in this one. So that makes it that we are on the same page with 2 matches to go, Tucky. And I don't think you're going to waver here on any of these. We have the WWE Championship TLC match between Drew McIntyre, the champ, and AJ Styles. TLC match, we do know, makes it a very entertaining stipulation for sure, Tuck.
Yeah, it should be a great match between the two.
Is it me first?
You go first, yes.
The only thing I keep thinking is this where The Miz inserts himself? Because if it's not now, when is it? Is it the Rumble? After that, you're running out of options.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do it at WrestleMania, I don't think. I don't think The Miz is worthy of a Mania cash-in.
Please don't. Please don't.
So TLC matches, you can get involved and do whatever. So if he interferes in this match and kind of just injects himself into that, what if it's a triple threat TLC from the go? Like he cashes in right away. He's like, let's make this a triple.
Here. I'm in it.
I think that is a possibility. If that was the case, I don't think Miz wins. Still, it'd be a good way to get the briefcase off of him. But I think the pick's simple. I think it's Drew McIntyre. Recently just won his title back. AJ Styles is great, no doubt. Some would say he's phenomenal. Duh. But it's not AJ's time. It's still Drew McIntyre's time to shine. I believe they're setting up for Sheamus. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to retain the WWE Championship. Tucky, what are we thinking?
I'm agreeing with you. That's one of my more confident picks. And, yeah, I'm in trouble here.
Cash in? Yeah or no?
No.
No?
Nope.
Not tonight? Or not Sunday, I should say?
Not hopefully ever.
Yeah, you're in trouble because I don't think you're going to pick differently on this one. The Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, the champ, the Tribal Chief, taking on our boy Kevin Owens. This one seems obvious, but you get to go first.
This one's going to be the match of the night, in my opinion. I do think...
no stipulation yet, though.
I do think it'll be good, whatever the stipulation is. Firefly Inferno table match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Roman Reigns, as are you. And I'm going to have to...
You're going to have to go back and flop. The thing I wanted to propose to you is, what if Brock Lesnar is lurking in the shadows? We talked about it last week. I've seen rumblings on social media. Brock Lesnar shows up at TLC after the match and kind of just does his thing.
Okay, I mean, I'm here for it. I wouldn't hate it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So you're going with Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
I'm also going with Roman Reigns. As much as I'd like to see Kevin Owens be the champion, he's not on Roman Reigns' level right now. So that seems like the easiest pick, one of the easier picks of the night for sure. So that means, unless there's a match that gets announced that we have to predict on the side, obviously we can't predict it right now, there's possibly a chance that we get Riddle versus Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
We could get Big E or Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn because we know they kind of have a thing. So you might be able to change there. Is there any match right now that we have predicted tonight that you would like to change, or will you wait it out and see if any matches get added? Cue the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
So am I allowed to flip a pick before the show if I lock this card in right now, hoping that something else pops up?
Are you talking about flip a match that we've predicted here?
Yeah. Can I? So like if Street Profits and Ziggler and Rude gets announced, and we have the same pick there, in an effort for me to vie for the title.
Oh wait, I think that match actually might be happening. Ziggler
According
and Rude.
to what I've read, it has not been announced, but it makes a lot of sense for
Let's predict it right now.
Okay.
Ziggler and Rude
I think
versus
we're both going to pick the same
Street
one.
Profits,
Street
right?
yeah.
Okay. So if that match does happen, that would be our pick. So let's just do this hypothetically, because obviously these matches aren't official. We're recording on a Thursday. If Riddle faces Bobby Lashley, who would you take?
I would take Riddle. I want Riddle to win that.
Okay, I would take Lashley.
Okay.
All right, so
that's
that
a good
helps.
one.
If Sami Zayn were to face Big E or Daniel Bryan, would you take Daniel Bryan or Big E in this? These are just hypotheticals for anybody listening right now. These are not official while we're recording.
I would take Sami Zayn.
So would I. Okay, so if those matches were to happen, we do know you would differ at least on the United States Championship, but I feel like the SmackDown title match was confirmed. Or was that for SmackDown?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I guess we'll have to tune in tomorrow night, which I doubt I'll tune in live. That'll be
The one flippable match that I see is the women's tag match that I would flip on.
We got time. It's
So-
Thursday, but that's all we got here on Thursday.
The card is locked in as of right now. I took Riddle over Lashley. That can be, if it is officially announced, and the one thing we run into is that the one random pre-show match we learn about on the pre-show, if they want to do that, but
I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those championship matches like
I think
Sami
so.
Zayn or something like that.
I think it's doable, but yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean, going up and down, looking at the card, obviously we're not excited, but there's some matches on there that can be really good.
Yeah, and they need to start picking it up, dude.
It's
AEW beat Raw last week.
That was a historical low, right, for Raw?
Yes.
That's not
And
good.
we're not even at the New Year's show, the Christmas show. Like
Those are usually the
those
worst.
are always
Yeah.
the cheeks ones. Like they're hitting their low early.
So I thought when this pandemic started that wrestling would be at a higher thing because what else are people going to do? They're going to sit at home and watch TV. It's kind of been the opposite, at least for Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign.
But AEW has been able to capture the hearts of the people.
NXT creeped a little closer this week, and I think it has to do with the fact, and obviously we're not big ratings guys anymore. That really doesn't matter to us because we enjoy both the products, but NXT was a lot closer to AEW, still didn't eclipse them, and AEW, did you watch it?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't special. Like, it was kind of like a transitional show.
Yeah.
So that just shows you that kind of AEW has the hold on Wednesday nights. And you even referenced it that AEW beat Raw in the demographic.
Yeah.
It's not good because WWE's been around for 40 years, AEW 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
And
And I think in that conversation you would say like it would take years for that to happen.
And here we are.
And all it took was a global pandemic.
Who would have thought? Not me. But hey, anything else you got for him this week, Tuck?
No, well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Excitement level for the OTMmys is significantly higher than my excitement level for TLC, but it's something to do. Christmas break kicks off for me, so,
Hey, Ryan Vogus. Or Ian. Granted, you would be very heavy on the AEW. Or Mikey Wilson.
yeah.
Aaron, you were just on. So, fuck you. OTMmy show Tuesday night. If you want to record, here's an open invitation.
Here we go.
We're going to make this a big thing, hopefully. So
Yeah.
that's all I got.
I might wear my tuxedo T-shirt. I don't know.
Because you're formal.
Let's dress
but
it
you
up.
like to party.
I am down for it. Once again, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We'll catch you next week. Follow the Overtime Sports Network at _OTSN on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure you follow us at Pot on the Mark on Twitter.
And give Tuck a follow at JimTuck89. Or you could follow me on Twitter at 2SweetKyle. Too sweet!
Until next week, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pod on the Mark.